Hey guys, it's Amy from Colorado Mountain Living. We've got our second snow of the year, our big one I should say. Looking at the forecast earlier this week, we didn't know what was going to happen. It was saying 3 to 5 inches a day, 3 to 5 inches at night. So finally, after watching and waiting all day yesterday, seeing the snow come down, watching the temperatures plummet, it was interesting to find out we only accumulated about 3 inches. So it was definitely a blessing to not have to deal with a whole bunch of snow, because now I know today's Halloween, but it's like we don't want to be tricked right now. We still have a few things to do before everything freezes up, and a lot of snow can slow us down. So I'll tell you some of the tricks and some of the treats that the storm has brought. Probably the trick for this storm is that we just barely put down our electric cable. You can see it in some spots. And our grounding rod, our electrician put in, and that's down there. So earlier this week, I called in for a trench inspection from the State Department. They're supposed to come and inspect our trench to let us know that we can bury it. And they're supposed to come today. But because of the storm and the snow on the road, and people kind of get a little bit anxious about that, I'm not sure if the inspector's going to show up. Hopefully he'll come tomorrow, but I hope that he doesn't skip us this week. We really would love to get this inspection done, and hopefully, even if there's still some snow in the trench, he can have enough information to be able to see what's going on that he'll be able to approve us to bury it. So it's a little bit of a trick. You know, we just barely laid our cable, we just barely got it ready for inspection, and now we get a bunch of snow on top of it. So anyway, hopefully the sun will come back out in a minute and we'll melt everything, because the ground is still pretty warm and things are melting pretty readily. But let me show you one of the treats. Someone's very excited about the snow, wants to play ball and everything. Okay, let's look up at the roof here. So one of the treats is that we're not having avalanches sliding off the roof with these snow guards. You can kind of see the snow guard there behind the chimney, and that's keeping the snow from sliding off in big sheets. So that's definitely one of the treats of having our roof done, all the snow guards up. This angle of the roof, you can see just how much the sun is melting everything. It's dripping off pretty readily. And again, no sliding sheets of snow. Let's check the front steps to see if it's held off there as well, because that's the area where we had a lot of snow sliding. So the front of the house doesn't get much sun, especially in this corner, and you can see it's a lot deeper. I'd say there's probably about 4 to 5 inches of snow here. It's covering the tops of my boots, so fluffy snow, nothing too crazy. Builds up on the stairs there because we don't have any coverage, but no avalanches. As you can see, the snow guards are preventing the snow from sliding off. No buildup on the water tank, no buildup on the stairs or the landing there, and the snow is melting off a lot more gradually. So that's really nice. The snow's still up on the roof, not sliding off there. And the same here for this little area. And let's look on this side. So the snow guards doing their jobs. Things seem to be holding in place, and you can tell we've got a little bit more heat in the house where it's rising up where the chimney is, because there's some icicles forming on the edge here. That's because we're not insulated yet. Well, definitely a treat to have the roof on for snowstorms. Not having a lot of those snow problems that we had before. So I'll show you one of the other tricks that's happened to us because of the snowstorm. Our vehicles are on the other side of this bridge here. See how the trench is going across the driveway? And nobody wants to cross that with snow on it and everything. Slippery, and what a mess. So I'm parked down at the neighbor's house, and then Brian's parked right here. So a little bit of a trick to deal with our trench not being finished. We can't fill that spot in on the driveway, so we're having to walk up the hill here Doesn't look very steep from this angle, but I promise you, you'll be out of breath in a minute from hiking up this hill to the house every time you go somewhere. It's a little bit of a trick. Here's a treat. Buried under this tarp is our wood pile that Brian moved from the woods, and we had about 2 or 3 wood piles. And a nice little treat right now is a cozy fire in our wood stove. It's working great now, folks, so we're really happy that you're able to share all your advice with us about the smoking problem. We hadn't had any problems with that since it first burned off. And even though it's small and it's not our ultimate stove for the long haul, it's doing the job, keeping us toasty warm. So that's been a treat to have a nice toasty wood stove, wood inside during the snowstorm. Some split wood over there. Worked on that earlier. Here's another treat we're celebrating today. Look at all this electric done downstairs. I'll show you what it looks like upstairs as well. The electrician did a really great job this week and almost finished the entire upstairs. Look, all this electrical wire, everything is wired up. Not only are we wired all of our circuits, but the electrician connected everything. All the boxes have wires now, so we can go ahead and put in our outlets. Everything's wired for power back to the home relay. So the home run goes down here. All of these go down into the basement to the panel that I showed you. So that is definitely a home run for us today. Fantastic treat. You even got up there and did this big long drop down for the lights in the kitchen as well. And so now we're trying to prep the downstairs area so they can work down here without all of our crap being in the way. We have to pull everything out from against the walls, and that's kind of a trick. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. Crap. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff down here. Bikes, tools, furniture. Anyway, so we've got and we'll have to pull down this planking board as well again around the fire so they can finish the work down here. So that will be next week, the end of next week. So hopefully by the end of next week, we'll be pretty much done with the electric. I'll show you one more treat. How pretty is it? It's so nice when you get a winter storm and everything looks like this. It's a real treat when you get to look out your window to this in the morning time. And you can sleep in and have pancakes and just enjoy a nice, beautiful winter scene. Here's a nice treat. Big old plow on the front of the tractor. Probably don't need to use it today because, like I said, the snow is melting pretty good once the sun comes out. And it almost melts faster if you don't pile it up too much. But the deepest part of the snow is right here. And everything else is probably going to just be a few inches in them by the end of the day. But more mud onto the snow at this point. But Brian's been pretty pleased. He said it works really good. It's just a little bit of a trick to have to deal with that. Like I said, that bridge down there. And having to plow around that, he's just going to hold off. And hopefully the snow will melt and we'll let nature take its course. So here's one trick. Not too great, but we have had some creosote leaking and dripping. So that could be because up here in the house, it's not quite as insulated as the rest. So it's definitely dripping down the chimney here and, making some splatter marks there on the floor. So that's kind of a problem. I don't know that we're going to be able to do that much about it other than watching what kind of wood goes into the fireplace, into the wood stove. But it's just a lot of drippy creosote there, and that's a hazard. So, right now this isn't hot to touch warm, and it's probably 45 or 50 degrees in here. But at night, I'm sure it's dripping more because of its condensing. So it's definitely something we might get more of this ceramic blanket to go up the length of this pipe until we get fully insulated in a couple of weeks. So that's been a kind of a dreary bummer about the wood stove and the chimney so far. But, folks have warned us about that. They said you're going to have creosote dripping. And there we go. So that's a trick for today. Not too cool. Doesn't smell too great either.
like a thing you could put over it to reverse it.
So we're talking about reversing the chimney so that it doesn't overlap from the top down and the creosote leak out. If we could flip it upside down so it runs down the inside of the chimney and is not prone to running outside these seams, except we're looking at the way that it sits over the top of the stove right here. It nests over the top.
That's the damper.
Uh-huh. Well, it unscrews, right? Well, no, I guess you can't.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe, it wouldn't go in the other way. And there's like a transition piece you can put over that, which will then flip it.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys think? Flipping around the chimney?
Because that, on the other stovepipe I bought, the ones that weren't snap locks, the sticker said direction of flow, and so, which is the opposite of what this is.
Mm-hmm. So the reason why it's set up like this is just because the
flange in the bottom.
The flange in the bottom is, yeah. Or the other option is to put the fiber blanket all the way around the chimney to insulate it.
Yeah, but it's still gonna create creosote, I'm sure.
Yeah. Because I could hear it dripping. I kept hearing it dripping. It must have been landing on that pan up there.
Oh.
Last night. It was like tss, like water.
Oh.
I thought it was dripping inside the stove. I thought it was landing down the chimney and landing on the coals.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if the pipe was insulated up on the first floor, then it wouldn't be so cold, and it wouldn't condense out probably. That's the problem.
Yep. Well, we just wanted to keep you guys updated for this week so far, midway through the week, and how we're doing. So a big storm came through, but it wasn't so bad. We actually was a lot more prepared this time around than we were a couple weeks ago. So it makes a huge difference to have a nice toasty wood stove. And when the sun comes out and the snow melts quickly, that is the kind of winter that I really love. The other treats for surviving winter storm is a new down winter coat and then feeling really cozy in that, as well as new winter boots. Merrell's, very good traction, fit really well and comfortable, can get anywhere, even while having to walk down a hill to get to the car. So it doesn't look like much snow now. There was a lot more this morning before everything melted. But so the rest of this week, we're preparing the basement, getting everything ready so the electrician can finish up next week. We're pulling everything in away from the walls. And that way we'll be also ready for the plumber, who is starting in less than 2 weeks. The plumber is going to come on the 13th. So we'll get those two things wrapped up. Then we can get insulated. That's the big moment we've been waiting for. And then after that, we can start talking drywall. So just a couple weeks away for some really big advances in our status for our home build, and we'll keep you guys updated along the way. So just wanted to drop a quick line, a little spirited trick-or-treat Halloween video for you, the tricks and the treats of our winter storm. But I definitely feel much more of a smile this time and not so gloomy with this winter weather that we're having, and definitely taking time to enjoy the scenery around us. So hope you guys take care. Happy Halloween, and we'll keep you updated at the next video. See you later. Bye-bye.